Welcome to The Snack, a lighter serving of Girls Gotta Eat.
This is a Dear Media production.
Enjoy.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Bit of a somber tone. We're coming to you from San Diego, us and Tessa today. We are safe. Thank you for all the really wonderful messages, Ashley and I, in our homes and Tessa's homes. We are physically safe. And, we like to keep these episodes of The Snack fun and light, but, we want to highlight what's happening here. This is our home. We love it. We've chosen to live here. And we just want to highlight people that are doing good, people that have lost everything and how you can help them. So we're going to try to do this today.
So I just this feels like something that we don't want to do, something that we feel really weird doing. It feels weird to talk about ads today.
Yeah.
Everything feels, I don't really disjointed to talk to podcast right now. And so I just want to address that. I don't know how we're going to get through this, but we're going to try. I don't want to sit here and cry. Rain and I are safe. We didn't lose our homes. We don't want to make this about us, but we know you guys probably want to hear what is happening and what people are feeling in LA and the overall vibe of the city and the people around us. And yes, we can always just not podcast. We're not forced to do anything, but we feel an obligation to do our job. And also we do want to talk about this stuff and talk about the experience that the city has had and the good that we've seen. And again, honor those who are experiencing so much loss and have been so affected. So I just want to get that out of the way. This might feel, it's going to feel so different. It's going to feel pretty raw, but we've just been sitting here. It's 4:30, procrastinating on doing this because it just doesn't feel right.
It doesn't. And, I have sat at this, and we all have, at this intersection of grief and gratitude, where I'm so grateful to have my home. I mean, it was not on my 2025 bingo card to sleep in my house for 10 days and then evacuate. But of course, I'm so grateful that people have lost unimaginable amounts of things, people with children to support and sick parents. And I am so grief stricken for so many people, but we're grateful that the three of us are here and safe. And
Four of us.
And
we have Azul back on the couch. So, we wanted to set this up 3-angle for you guys, just like we do, because you don't get him on it. We haven't had a couch. We haven't had this in years.
Since my house flooded last year.
Our LA run has been something else.
There's first 2 years in LA, people are it never rains here. We're well, my house flooded.
It's so wild. It's deranged to have experienced legitimate flood and fire in a year. I mean,
I know.
What the fuck is happening? I mean,
we'll thank our partners, and then I do want to say something too. It feels so weird to be
it feels
just
listen,
we're gonna partners. It's gonna be weird. You guys are just gonna deal with it.
It's gonna be weird. Yeah. But they pay the bills. And again, like I said, if we said we're not recording today, Dear Media would figure it out. The partners would be fine. This isn't a we got to do it. We got to make the dollars, but it's this, we're the brands that were scheduled for today. We're doing an episode today. So here they are. And thank you to them for supporting the show.
Yeah. So thank you to Hungry Root. Get 40% off your first delivery and free item in every box for life at hungryroot.com/GGE with code GGE.
And thanks to Addie. Learn more at addie.com. And thanks to Symbiotica. Get 20% off and free shipping at symbiotica.com/girlsgottaeat. And I will say, I haven't checked on every single partner, but so many of our partners, we see what they're doing, and so many have donated so much and they're doing so much. And we'll talk some about the brand response today too. But yeah.
So this is being recorded a couple days ahead of time per usual, but we're recording this on Monday. These fires started Tuesday. I still remember driving to your house to pick you up on Tuesday morning. I sent you a video of some smoke coming up in the Palisades. And this is just an ongoing situation. So by this time this comes out, we don't even know what will have happened, but this has been an unbelievable amount of devastation. I'm sure you guys are all being inundated with this on Instagram and the news, but as of this morning, 12,000 structures have burned, 62 square miles. I mean, it's the size of Paris. It's huge.
Yeah.
People are comparing the devastation to cities. I mean, so many people have just lost so much, people with nothing to begin with have lost everything.
Yeah, I mean, we might be a little bit all over the place today. I made a lot of notes. I cannot stress it enough. I feel so weird to sit here and try not to cry, but essentially cry, and we are safe and have our homes. It feels very strange, but it's everyone in LA is traumatized by this, obviously on such a wide spectrum of people who are safe and have lost nothing and people who have lost everything. And this will define us forever. This will define the city forever. This is one of the biggest natural disasters in US history. I mean, I was telling you, I think about, which I'm not comparing, but I was thinking about a friend who was in New Orleans during Katrina, and I will never forget that she was there then. I will never forget how she had to leave, and she came to Atlanta, and that's how I met her. She went to Tulane. They had to send students to other schools. She was at Tulane at the time. These things that you live through, and you watch your city be underwater or burn, in this case, in such an unprecedented way, is so hard to watch. And to not know how bad it's going to get is a feeling it's hard to explain. I mean, there's parts of it that feel re-traumatizing from COVID, because I was joking, remember when I left my building in March 2020, and I told the doorman see you in 2 weeks, we had no idea. You just never know how bad it's going to get. And so we sit here today not even knowing what could happen this week. And God, I just am praying that the winds don't pick up again. But this is supposed to come out. We'll put it out as soon as it's ready. But it's just it's Monday, what's going to happen tomorrow or Wednesday or Thursday. We're not in the clear yet. And that's really hard to stomach.
Yeah, I lived through Hurricane Sandy and COVID in New York City. I was there the entire time during COVID. It feels different. There's an extreme terror of the unknown.
Yeah.
Hurricane Sandy happened and we rebuilt in New York City. COVID happened and it was this collective, the whole country is in on it together. And it feels different here because I go on Instagram and people have been amazing, but you see other people's lives going on in other cities. And every day I feel I have to have self-talk because I feel genuinely really angry when I see people their lives are going on and they're opening up their own businesses and they're having fun and being silly and taking selfies. And God forbid somebody texts me anything about anything besides this. But I also have to remember that other people's lives go on and that's okay too, even though this is my central focus, but it feels very different than COVID did.
Yes, it's all, again, this isn't compare, contrast, what's worse, who's got it the worst, which tragedy is the worst. But I understand that people that aren't living in LA and experiencing this firsthand are moving on with their lives. I get it. I mean, I remember when Maui was burning and it really took me out, for the weekend. I was donating as much as I could. I was just in a dark hole. I just felt for these people, and I never even been to Hawaii at that point. And I probably did what I felt like I could do and I moved on with my life, and those people didn't, and it will feel different obviously for people in LA. And, I can't even begin to think what people who grew up in LA are feeling. Yeah. I told you, I was if this was Delaware, if this was Dewey Beach, I'd never recover, so you and I can't even feel what people are feeling that have watched their real communities. Yes, we built a community in LA, but we've been there 2 years. People have really grown up there and had so many more memories and families and their schools and their churches and their, local restaurants just be decimated. I mean, it's so overwhelmingly devastating. And of course, we feel this because we live there even more than if this was happening somewhere else. Of course, we would have empathy and compassion, but to be in it like this, I haven't really experienced something like this in terms of this natural disaster happening where you live,
Yeah, it feels really uncertain. And I've been really interested in everybody's responses to this. The city of LA, I've personally loved their response. I feel they are staying on top of letting people know. They have a ready, set, go system, when to pack, when to evacuate. They've been really on top of it. I think that people have really shown up in a big way. So many people, ran towards these fires. I mean, so many firefighters, and we saw videos of doctors and nurses evacuating people from nursing homes and hospitals, and so many people just getting pets out of these shelters and news crews, and so many people just jumped to action and have continued to. I mean, it's been amazing to see how many people have shown up for the people of Los Angeles. And I think at the beginning of this, I kept hearing on the news like the affluent communities of Malibu and the Palisades, and that was really part of the news cycle, and all these celebrities whose homes had burned down. And I'm glad that the tone has sort of changed, and we've like allowed people to understand that these are just normal people with normal businesses. And also, by the way, just because you're a celebrity or you make a lot of money does not mean that you deserve to lose your memories and your home and everything that you have. You know, nobody deserves this. Of course, it will be harder for some people than others. And of course, I understand that.
I mean, yeah, whatever you think about it and whatever you think about rich, famous people is your prerogative. But like, I just want the facts to be correct. You know, like it's just, again, I have been watching a lot more local news than national news, and I have to take breaks, of course. But yes, a lot of the people in the Palisades were rich or rich and famous, but people also just had apartments there. And there was also just, you know, restaurants where people worked that now lost their jobs, or retail stores or whatever. And then Pasadena and Altadena are not rich, famous neighborhoods like Palisades and Malibu. I mean, Altadena is a historically Black neighborhood. It is still extremely diverse today. It has this long, rich history. You know, Pasadena is really diverse. I mean, there's just people from all walks of life. There are people with money. There are people without money. I mean, there's people right now that have nowhere to go and not enough resources that they're in a shelter. You know, so it's like I want to debunk this whole like let Hollywood burn, all these rich, famous people who lost their houses, who cares, you know? And if that's what you're seeing on the news, like, I mean, I don't know what to say. It's not the truth. It's not the full picture, you know? So I just want to say that. And again, just the people that have like lost their jobs, that work in retail or in restaurants. And I think that people have various opinions about LA in terms of what we have seen. It's been so moving. I mean, the city has just come together in a way that I've never seen. And again, this is my algorithm. This is my city where I live. Like, you know, I'm not going to see the way that the community came together in Asheville like I would because of the city I live in and the people that I follow. You know, it's like I'm in the thick of it. But I mean, it's just completely above and beyond in terms of the amount of donations, people supporting, people really like boots on the ground, like not just posting on social media. Like they're out shopping for people. They're going to the shelters. I mean, people are getting turned away left and right because there's too many donations, too many volunteers. You know, people are like, I want to help a family, but I can't get matched with one, you know? And it's like, then there's all the people that set up those systems and those spreadsheets, and like they're overwhelmed. Like it's just been overwhelming in like the best way. I mean, I feel like the main animal organization we've seen has been the Pasadena Humane Society, and I was on top of them early on. I was like, take all my money, you know? And I'm watching on the news, I'm like, they have more food, dog bowls, dog beds, cat, whatever the fuck cats need, like forever. Like people went so hard. Like it just was crazy to see, like everyone is like all hands on deck in these support efforts. And that's what I want people to see about our city. It's been really moving. And I think any city would do that. You know, I don't think we're special, but it's just like, if you think LA people are like shallow and self-centered and they don't care, I mean, that is just not what we have seen.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the reason why it's extra moving is that LA gets this bad rap for everybody being shallow and vapid and, you know, fame hungry, but so many of the influencers and people that I follow, all the chefs and people in the food world have shown up to cook free meals, deliver them to the firefighters. I have seen so many people volunteering at food kitchens that have huge followings. There's a girl who invited me to her birthday party recently, and she said, instead of that, please donate to this GoFundMe. She raised $12,000. She went to Costco. Gosh. She did a huge drive for people and delivered them. I mean, people are like not stopping at anything to make sure that these people are supported. Brands are just sending so much stuff. If you want anything, Sweetgreen is like, come get food. All the restaurants, Sweetgreen is a huge national corporation, but small restaurants, there's a restaurant in my neighborhood in Venice that is just cooking hundreds of pizzas all day long, and they have volunteers coming to drive those pizzas to the firefighters. I mean, people have just all hands on deck.
Even
LA.
Soho House stopped being assholes for a minute.
Can you believe it?
They weren't like, come in if you're not a member. They didn't say the doors are open to everybody, but they were like, you can come in regardless of your membership status. I mean, they sent an email. It was nice. It was really like
It was the first time I've ever seen them do anything nice for anybody.
But you know what? Because you're still going to go there and they're going to be like, oh, you still can't use your laptop.
You can take a shower, but you can't use your laptop in zones 1 through 3.
I'm dying thinking that they're like, oh, no, you still can't have your laptop at that table after noon.
Think of Soho House as evacuation zones, and you can't use your laptop. You have to evacuate if you try to bring your laptop in here.
They moved me around like 3 different places last week. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to quit my membership.
I know. I'm always like, you know what I'm going to do is keep paying you.
It has been so heartwarming to see. And I hope it continues. And, it's going to be a long road. And so, being away from LA this week has felt like I feel guilty. I'm like, I want to be there. I want to be doing stuff. But I'm like, everyone is doing stuff right now. Like there will be stuff to do and ways to support for a long time. And like, I feel like I'm going to jump in when maybe it's died down a little bit, and if you're feeling that way as well, I think some people might be feeling that way. Like tons of people have left. People are, wherever they are, they're away from the city, they're on the East Coast. I mean, and it's just like, if you're feeling that way of like, I want to be there, I'm seeing all these people volunteering their time and doing deliveries and doing this and that. It's going to be needed for a while. So, give yourself some grace and know that like you'll do it. And, you'll do it maybe when it's needed a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know like when to show up and how. And Ashley and I have, of course, donated, and we're gonna give you guys resources. We've put our put our money towards helping.
My credit card company's like, girl,
but like bitch, what's happening? I've been back and forth so much. I mean, Tuesday night when this started, I stayed at home, and then my power went out for 24 hours, and I didn't have power or hot water. And then Wednesday, I thought, okay, I'll go to West Hollywood. I'll try to get a hotel so that I have power and I have internet access. And 2 hours into being at that hotel, we had to evacuate the hotel. We went back to our own homes, and then it got scary again near me, and this all picked up, and then you and I went to San Diego. I mean, it's just, you're up and down, and you do want to like take care of yourself so you're in a good place to take care of others.
Yeah. And, I did kind of want to talk about like our experience, like if anyone's curious, like kind of how this went down and how it felt, and the people that were there for us, and it just, what I felt Tuesday night was like unlike anything I've ever experienced. I mean, I obviously was watching the news and feeling like things were fine, but then it really just started to feel really scary. And I was at my house. The winds are, shaking the walls, sirens nonstop. I mean, that is just so unsettling to feel that way. And I was like, do I need to leave my house? And then the second they put a Santa Monica evacuation warning out, I was like, I'm out. Like, I didn't even see if I was in the limits, but I was like, it's in my neighborhood now, and I am so scared. And my mom was like, I really want you to go. And we were in the group chat with all of our LA girlfriends, and Kate Steinberg sent me a separate chat and was like, come here if you need, here's the address, bring Azul. And like, that's not like my best friend, like it's a friend, she's in our group here, but it was just like really so kind to say that and be like, bring your dog, we got you. And I just started to feel really scared by just the sheer amount of like hearing those winds, hearing the sirens, and like it's just the panic and like the evacuation warnings moving closer. And so I did leave, and it was like such a weird feeling to gather things that were important to me. Like I've never had to do that. And so like when your mind works in that way, it's so weird. You're like, what's important? What can't I replace? And like, I'm worried about Azul. And so I just, got some things and went in the car and went over there, and they were so wonderful. And I felt really like safe there in West Hollywood. And then the next day you came up to West Hollywood as well, and you were going to stay in a hotel because you started to feel unsafe in your neighborhood. And they were cooking dinner. I mean, Kate and Chad, her fiance, are just the most wonderful people you could imagine. They've since fostered a dog on top of their other dog and their 2 cats. They're really like walking the walk. But, we were going to have dinner, and her and I were just chatting, and like the group chat starts to blow up. There's a fire in Runyon Canyon, and this sunset fire is like spreading so fast, and like, you should get out. And in that moment, I've never felt before like that level of like, oh, no one's safe, and like we're outrunning a fire now. And again, like I really want to, I want to tread lightly because I am somebody who was not affected in that way, but that feeling is a feeling so many people have felt when these natural disasters come in your city, and like to leave your home, go somewhere else, then leave there. I mean, I called you. We were like, where are we supposed to go? Like, I still didn't feel safe going home. I went home and then I felt like, okay, it feels okay. And then I still wanted to go to a friend that was farther south, and I stayed there for the night. I also didn't really want to be alone. I mean, and then our friend Taylor took me in. She has a dog allergy. She was like, I took a Zyrtec, come over, girl. Like people were just like, come over. I called her on the phone. She was like, come over, bring Azul. It just, everyone was willing to help. And you were with Jeremy. So like, I felt like I wanted to be with you. I would have been with you if you weren't with Jeremy and you were making your own decisions. And, the next day I went back home for a little bit of time, and then I just felt like the air quality, and it was literally like raining ash at my place. All my outdoor spaces, I mean, it looked like it snowed. And I was like, this is so bad for Azul. I can't just stay in my home and mask up when I go outside. Like I have to walk a dog, 3+ times a day. Like I feel unsafe, like mainly for him. I can take care of myself, but like we took one walk. He has ash all over him. Like I just feel like I want to get out. And then you and I made the decision to come here. And, that was my experience with this. And it's nothing compared to so many others, but it was just like, it was the first time I felt like that, like we're outrunning nature.
Yeah. It felt really, that's when it really hit me how unpredictable this is. I mean, like I said, Tuesday night, Jeremy was staying with me. We lost power, but I was like, it's okay. Like I have him here with me. I feel safe. There's like a big man in my house. And Wednesday, because we had no power or internet or hot water, I was like, I'll just get this hotel. And my experience at this hotel, you guys, was so crazy. So, I mean, this had only been going on for less than 24 hours. So I was like, it's fine. I'll get a hotel. They'll get this under control. People will be okay. Mm-hmm. And I went to this hotel. I couldn't check in yet for 2 hours. And so this guy at the bar started buying me drinks. It was 2:30 in the afternoon. And I had almost 3 Manhattans.
Oh my God.
I was just so drunk. And then this other cute guy at the bar was like, oh, we can't check in. And I was like, yeah, they won't let us check in. They're understaffed. They're like trying to like figure this out. And he was like, well, we should just go to the spa. And I was like, okay. And he was so cute. So I was like, me and this hot guy are going to go to the spa.
Oh my God.
And I signed up for like an hour-long massage. And I'm like, it's going to like, by the time I get out of this massage, we will have had this under control. I've never heard of like a fire hurricane. Like I didn't know. And so I go down there for an hour and I'm drunk and so fucked up. My lashes are all mashed up on my face, and we get this thing that says you must evacuate West Hollywood. There's a Runyon Canyon fire.
Yeah.
And I had to call Jeremy. He was at another hotel down the street. And I was like, I need you to come here and drive the car.
Because I'm drunk.
Like, yeah, literally. And he's like, you dropped me off with like 3 suitcases and a duffel bag. I can't walk down there.
Oh my God.
And I was like, well, I can't drive. So you got to get down here. And then we like went back to my place. It made you feel like nothing's safe. I have to outrun this. And of course, I'm trying to add a light story to a obviously horrible situation that could have turned out so much worse and did for so many other people. But it's been a lot of just back and forth, up and down. I mean, my resolution for this year was enjoy my shit. And I did not expect this to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. You've
7
been
days
in your home for like
into the year.
2 days. Yeah. I mean, and I think that Californians and people in any place have experienced anything like this will feel this trauma for a long time, if maybe forever. Like that feeling of like, okay, I made it through this one, but what about the next one? And I don't know. It's like you see reports of like arsonists, and I don't. Who's to say if like the main one, how it started? Obviously, the winds alone. Like waking up Tuesday morning, those winds, it was like something bad's going to happen. It felt really ominous. Like already reports of like this could be like life threatening. So I want to like yes, climate change, the winds, everything. This was like the quite literal perfect storm of like the worst possible case scenario. But then you see people just lighting fires all over the city. And I'm like, to think like, okay, if we get through this one, when's the next one? I mean, this is how people feel who live in like hurricane zones as well. And just different things. It's like, I think I'm not sitting here saying I'm so traumatized. I'm telling people like, we are all collectively feeling trauma from this no matter what, when you start to feel a lack of like security where you live.
I found myself driving around thinking like, is this safe? Is this safe? How do you ever know that this isn't going to happen again? And it gets really windy like that in Venice. I'm pretty used to these like pretty violent winds, but this was like extreme. They were saying it's a Category 1 hurricane level winds.
They're like 100-mile-an-hour winds.
And then, you think about like all these perfect conditions. I mean, what they were saying was basically California got so much rain for 2 years. It was an unprecedented amount of rain. So there was extra greenery and extra foliage and then no rain for 8 or 9 months. So it was extra dry. And then you get these winds and it is just primed for these situations, which is quite possibly how this happened, and they're investigating all kinds of arson. Of
Well,
course.
and like, yes, people commit arson. It's absolutely fucking insane. But I'm just like, without any of that in the mix, just like the way that these things can work. I mean, I think we've all been learning more about like weather and fire in the last week. You know, like an ember can travel like 2 fucking miles or something, you know, and it just kind of like drops down. I mean, we were watching the news, and it was when there was a fire in Studio City, and like we were watching other fires pop up just from like embers flying and like whoosh, you know, like those weren't arsonists up in the hills, you know. It was just like watching this happen, and I was like, the world is ending. Like we're watching this in real time. I mean, and then people are watching their homes burn down in real time. Like it's just unfathomable. And I'm so grateful for like the friends that we have around us that were so willing to be like, come over, sleep on the couch. You know, I like brought my pillow and blanket over to Taylor's. I'm like, what are we doing here? You know, and there's the people that have checked in on us. I mean, I felt really emotional about it. We both have. It's just everybody we've ever known.
I mean, people that we haven't talked to in so long. And I mean, it made me reach out to so many people that I know in LA that I know have families that I've just said, like, my door is open. If you need to come over, if you need clothing or dinner. But you know who really took this as a call to check in is every man that every woman in LA has ever dated.
Oh my God.
This is like men's Christmas or Thanksgiving when they're just like, now's my chance to check in.
Wait, do you think that was happening a lot?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I have heard from multiple men who I told to never speak to me again, and they were like, now's my moment to check in on
And what did
her.
you do? Pick up the call.
I answered the call. Actually, we're in a state of emergency.
Yes.
What else am I doing?
Yesterday, when I walked out yesterday and you were on the phone, I literally thought you were talking to your dad. I was about to walk out there and be
Actually,
like,
I
hey,
had no shirt on and I was giggling up a storm. If that was my dad.
I was like, who are you talking to? Because then I was like, wait a minute, that giggle was not for Bill. And I was like, who are you talking to? And you told me, not on my bingo card. He's dead to me. I don't think of him as a person that's in our orbit anymore. Like you really dug into the archives.
Can I just tell you what was so funny about that is that I'm on the phone with him. He can hear you and you go, are you on the phone with, and you suggest another man. And I have to go, no, I'm on the phone with, and he goes, tell Ashley I say hi. Like he had to listen to you suggest a different toxic ex
literally,
who also called me.
Of course. No, like I went out there. It's like, I was like, are you talking to Jason? And then you're on the phone. You had to go, no, it's Spencer. Like literally that's what happened. And I didn't care.
Into the phone. I didn't care. It was hilarious. And the one that you were suggesting, I mean, he slid in immediately. Tuesday night, buzz, let's talk about fire.
But also, by the way, while I did that, I was FaceTiming with my fiance, and he's going, wait, who's that? So like, he was like, wait, who's Spencer again? These are my fake names. Like, it was a whole thing. And then, yes, meanwhile, he's
I hear Ashley walking away going, she's this toxic ex of hers. I don't know. She's still in earshot of him on the phone. And you asked me no follow-up questions, and I was impressed. I was like, I'm going to hear about this when I go inside. And nope.
Oh,
business
like
as usual.
Raynol's going to Raynol. 2025, Raynol's still here.
I mean, men have really taken, this one waited a little bit. He waited until Thursday. The other one, Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. Buzz, what's going on? Haven't heard from him since.
Yeah.
He's like, my work here is done.
Well, obviously, it feels weird to even sit here and like laugh like this, but it's just like, you need to do it. You know, we have to like, you know, always, whatever, you always got to laugh and, you know, smile and have joy in your life, even in like the worst of times. But it's been kind of funny to talk about like who's checked in and who hasn't. And like, I started making a petty list in my head, and I was like, if you haven't checked in, you're not coming to my wedding.
I love that you said that. And like, I started my list on Wednesday, and I started like telling you like, can you believe that we haven't heard from so-and-so? Can you believe it? And like, really just running list of like isn't this so shocking?
Even in a natural disaster, we're still petty. But it's, you know, I will say, like, it took a minute, I feel like, to catch on to everybody just how terrible this was. And it was like Wednesday morning, I was hearing for some people, I'm like, that's interesting, you know? And then by Thursday, I feel like it was like, holy shit, like, are you okay? And then it was just like, pretty much by Friday, we'd heard from everybody we've ever known, except for a few, and you're not coming to my wedding. And I just feel like it's one of those things where you couldn't, like, not, you know, like, if you know we live in LA. And then there's just, it really shows you a lot about people and how you're on their mind. I mean, there's people that are checking in with me every day. And just because I'm like on their mind and you and our friends and our city, you know, I think people are checking in and like, they know I'm fine and safe, but they're like, how's LA? You know, like how does it feel? Like people are concerned, and, we're in their thoughts and collectively as the people in the city that have been affected. And, it has, that has felt nice,
Yeah. I mean, a couple people have said to me, like, it just feels like life is going on in some of these neighborhoods. And I'm like, oh, I don't think it's really like that. But like, I have to like hold space for the fact, like the news reaching people in New York is not the same as living in LA. And I'm trying to I don't get irritated with people that say kind of stuff like that to us.
Well, I did want to talk about the vibe if people are curious. I mean, it's so crazy. I mean, I'm sure this has been like in any place where something like this has happened, where like the neighborhoods that are still standing just like they were before are like, I think a lot of restaurants are closed. Obviously, comedy clubs closed, and they're starting to open back up. But, like the grocery stores are there. People are out. I mean, people are wearing masks, and the vibe is totally different. But like life is going on, but it definitely feels different. And then it's like everybody you encounter, like I went to my coffee shop, honestly, just to check on those people. I see them every day, and like the woman that was working there that I see, she was just like, how are you? And then we both just kind of started like tearing up. It's just like everybody's checking on each other. I saw some memes that just like even the vibe in Ralph's is just everybody's talking, everybody's like supporting each other. And I didn't make it to Ralph's, but it's just like I like to see.
I was like, I've never heard you go to Ralph's ever.
Well, any grocery store, I just kind of saw that people, I didn't go to any grocery store. People were like, we were all in this together energy. And
it's been nice. I went to Erewhon. It's nice to see people are still putting together a little fit to go grocery shopping, whether they have an N95 mask on or not.
Right. People are like, oh, I got to bring out my COVID fashion.
But, I'm glad that people are supporting businesses. People still have to work and make money. Yeah. And of course, like waiters want to make money. People that cut hair want to make money. And it is sort of like an eerie vibe. I went to Abbot Kinney on Thursday night, I think, with Jeremy to just get a pizza to go. And it was like so eerie and quiet. And I think people just want to be respectful.
Yeah, of course. Like people have been like, I don't want to be insensitive, and is this okay? And it's just, Brandon and I have a lot of thoughts and feelings on everything. We're in it. On the mayor, on the governor, on the president elect. I mean, all this stuff, and I guess I don't know if I have the energy right now to tackle all of it. But I think the thing that I have found that's just been that bothers me the most, I guess, is just the misinformation that is so rampant in our world today, in our country today. But with something like this, I mean, I get it. People want to direct their anger and their emotions somewhere. People want someone to blame. But I mean, there's just obviously been so much about the fire department funding and the hydrants and the water supply and this and that. And it's just like, I just think it's more important than ever to receive and disperse accurate information. We need accurate information from experts and science, and facts. It's just like imperative to our well-being and our safety. Like, the way that we were reliant on this Watch Duty app, which was the app that was like tracking all of the different zones. I mean, and I've donated to them. They're a nonprofit. They're amazing. I didn't know they existed until now, and they've just been our whole life. Or, just even watching the news, it's like we are like furiously checking these things to see if like we need to leave our homes, to see of our friends and family in different neighborhoods, what they're dealing with. I mean, we need that accurate information, and we need our leaders and our media and our government to be making absolutely sure we have that. And so it's just like, I'm just saying, be careful with what you share and what you put out there when you get so worked up about making sure that it's accurate, and then maybe like it's the right time to be posting certain things. You feel a certain type of way about like adding to the noise in general, but like that's the main point I wanted to make today. And like the misinformation, and like more than ever when you see these things, how important it is. And we're living in a time where people don't like the truth, so they make up their own. And, we have a president-elect that's spouting off about things that are completely just non-existent, delusional, not true in this time. It's like so sickening, but not surprising. And like, I can't believe that this is the current state of what we're entering into when he's about to be inaugurated. And again, like, I don't have the strength today, but it's just like, I guess my point is just like, it's bothered me to see that. And the importance of accurate information it's important to our survival.
Yeah, I think that people want to make sense of a tragedy through
Yeah.
understanding how did this happen?
Yeah.
How can we prevent it from happening again? What policies led this to happening? Like you brought up the fire department. We've heard about the fire department budgets and the reservoirs and insurance companies. I mean, there's so much information flying around, and a lot of it is really nuanced and there's context, and it's hard to know who to take information from, and it's really inflammatory. And my feeling is that we should take care of what's happening now, and there'll be time for this to figure this all out. And I want to know how this happened too. And I want to know what we're going to do to prevent it in the future, if that's even possible. And I really take care with what I repost in terms of theories and things like that.
Yeah. And I mean, again, like I've been doing my research. I'm trying to find really obviously factual, unbiased articles and information. And, I think there's nowhere in the country that's as prepared for fire as California, but you could never be adequately prepared for this situation.
I'm devastated, and
Yeah.
I'm angry, and I would love to know how this happened and what we're going to do to hopefully try to put some things in place to make sure that this would never happen again, or the risk will be mitigated at least. I mean, I bought a home here.
Yeah.
I want to live here. This is where I've set my roots down, and I've really banked on it.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe we'll talk a little bit more like with an expert at some point. Someone emailed about this, about the climate crisis in general. I mean, some of this stuff you can never prevent because it's never happened before and it's just getting worse. And like the earth is fighting back. We're not ready.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, let's just take a quick break and then we will get back into it and wrap this up. Okay, I am telling you guys about Symbiotica. I am so into this. So today we're telling you about one main product, and this is their liposomal vitamin C. And I love this in these little packs that you get. I throw them in my bag. I have the citrus vanilla, and this is how you get your 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, this liposomal delivery, and this is going to help with supporting healthy aging, boosting collagen production. This is so important. Like Dr. Barrett recently, he was like, are you doing collagen?
Totally.
Are you like making sure you get your collagen and supporting a healthy immune system? So obviously we know vitamin C is really important when it comes to that. It's a powerful antioxidant. It plays a key role in your immune system function, collagen production, again, healthy aging. And they really have the best supplement when it comes to this. But I just love the easy way that you can take it, and you can also take it with you. So it's going to improve your skin. The flavor is delicious. There's various flavors, but I like the vanilla citrus vitamin C the most. I really actually love the flavor. And it's going to, again, I haven't been sick in quite a while, and so I really do attribute this with that. Their quality of their products is amazing, free from seed oils, preservatives, toxins, or artificial additives, which are usually found in supplements. You're only getting the good stuff your body craves, and it's so easy to stay consistent. Their convenient monthly subscription service helps you never run out of your health-boosting essentials, and they have this advanced liposomal absorption technology, so the nutrients are delivered safely and efficiently, so your body gets exactly what it needs. So I just really feel safe knowing that these formulas are clean, intentionally sourced, and just what I need to feel healthy. And there is a convenient monthly subscription service, so you never run out, just gets delivered to you, which is great. So ultimately, it is high quality, holistic wellness right at your fingertips. Be present and feel your best for life's most memorable moments. Go to symbiotica.com/girlsgottaeat for 20% off your order plus free shipping today. That is symbiotica.com, CYMBIOTIKA.com/girlsgottaeat for 20% off your order plus free shipping today.
Okay, and I have been loving Hungry Root since they became a partner. They are just sort of like a personal nutritionist in your pocket. And you go to their website when you sign up and you take this quiz, and they really help you figure out like what are your goals. So how many people do I have to cook for? Do I want to do dairy free? Do I want less inflammation? And really just all of your tastes tailored to you, nutrition preferences, health goals, and then they make it easy to eat like high quality nutritious food and achieve any diet or health goals. And they tailor your sort of box to this, and they help you plan recipes. So when you go to their website, they have all these recipes that you can kind of shop for, and they'll build your bag out for you. So cilantro lime chicken and snow peas, peanutty spiced tofu and green bean rice bowl. I mean, all these recipes look so good. Strip steak and baby broccoli. I mean, there's so much stuff on here to choose from, and they're going to help you shop and do meal planning. And there's no high fructose corn syrup, artificial sweeteners, or preservatives in any of Hungry Roots food. And all of Hungry Roots recipes can be made in just 15 minutes or less. And with over 15,000 recipes shipped each week, there's something for everyone's taste and nutrition preferences. You're going to love Hungry Root as much as we do. Take advantage of this exclusive offer for a limited time. Get 40% off your first box, plus a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/GGE and use code GGE. That's hungryroot.com/GGE, code GGE to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/GGE, code GGE.
Okay, Raina, question for you. How would you feel if you lost your libido?
My sex drive, is that like a serious question? I'd never recover.
I know, right? Well, the fact is millions of premenopausal women are frustrated because they lost their libido. But we're here to let you know that there's a treatment called Addyi that is clinically proven to boost libido in certain premenopausal women. And this isn't some sketchy gas station pill. It's FDA approved. Talk to your doctor to see if Addyi is right for you. And again, it is clinically proven.
I love that women have this option.
Same. You can go learn more at addyi.com. That is ADDYI.com.
Addyi, or flibanserin, is for premenopausal women with acquired generalized hypoactive sexual desire disorder, HSDD, who have not had problems with low sexual desire in the past, who have low sexual desire no matter the type of sexual activity, the situation, or the sexual partner. The low sexual desire is troubling to them and is not due to a medical or mental health problem, problems in the relationship, or medicine or other drug use. Addyi is not for use in men or to enhance sexual performance. Your risk of severe low blood pressure and fainting is increased if you drink 1 to 2 standard alcoholic drinks close in time to your Addyi dose. Wait at least 2 hours after drinking before taking Addyi at bedtime. Your risk of severe low blood pressure and fainting is also increased if you take certain prescriptions, over-the-counter or herbal medications, or have liver problems. Low blood pressure and fainting can happen when you take Addyi, even if you don't drink alcohol or take other medicines. Do not take if you are allergic to any of the ingredients in Addyi. Allergic reactions may include hives, itching, or trouble breathing. Sleepiness, sometimes serious, can occur. Common side effects include dizziness, nausea, tiredness, difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep, and dry mouth. See full PI and medication guide, including boxed warning, at addyi.com/PI or call 844-PINK-PILL. Addyi.
That is ADDYI.com. Okay, well, we are back. Should we share a couple resources that we like?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen so many people list so much. It's like really hard to narrow it down. And like day one, so many places like Vanity Fair and The Cut. I mean, every publication was like, here's the list of huge organizations to donate to. And I think it can be hard to know, like, how can I make an impact?
It can be overwhelming, you know, and like, what do I do? And I really like Mutual Aid LA, and we'll put this all up on the screen. If you're in LA, especially where it's like, here's the donation centers that still need donations. Here's the ones that aren't taking them anymore. And here's where we need drivers and people to sort through everything and things like that. And it's just like, they put together the OG spreadsheet of like everywhere in terms of even like where you can bring your animals, or, you know, places like shelters, but also donation centers and how you can help. And so Mutual Aid LA is like this huge resource. Every day on Instagram, they're posting. And, you know, I mentioned the Pasadena Humane Society earlier. Pretty much right now, they just need monetary donations. I mean, they have a lot of these animals need veterinary care. I think they're all set on like things, but you can donate to them monetarily. And then we really like this site we just learned about, this company called Love and Ethos. And I think Heather McMahon posted them, and they are a nonprofit organization serving women in greater Los Angeles. And so they're actively seeking ways to aid the community and focusing on assisting single mothers and families with young children. And so you can just go to loveandethos.org and you can click either I need relief if you're a family or a person in need, or I can support. And then when you click I can support, you note the amount you're able to financially contribute, and then other things you may want to do. If you have services, you can volunteer, like what you're able to offer. If you have any resources like medical supplies or equipment, space for evacuation, you know, a truck or a vehicle, non-perishable food items, but they also, you can do your monetary donation too. So I just learned about that one. I mean, there's so much.
You know, I encourage people to donate wherever you feel inspired. So many people need so much ranches burned down, and there's horses that need to be taken in. I mean, so many animal shelters need help, need you to foster animals. So many people are just donating, just need money for food. I've donated to the World Central Kitchen, which is just doing food for people who are affected by this. And of course, the LA Fire Department, and GoFundMe is just doing an incredible job. Mm-hmm. So if you go to just GoFundMe, at the very top there's a banner, it says support LA wildfires, and you can see hundreds upon hundreds of GoFundMes, and lot of families have just posted a photo of, you know, a woman and her 2 children, a husband and wife, and people tell their stories. And if you feel inspired, give them money directly. And so I've been really just, I like reading people's personal stories, as do you, and just feeling like I know and you know that the money went directly to somebody. And it's like, how do you choose? I don't know. The LA Times has done an incredible job of just compiling spreadsheets and where you can send your money. But whatever you feel inspired to do, even if it's $5, even if it's you buy a package of underwear for somebody and you donate it, like it's meaningful and it's important, and people will need things for so long. Like you said, this isn't just going to end next week.
Yeah. And, you know, if you don't have any money to spare, that's fine too. You know, it's just like, just don't feel pressure or feel guilty. And I mean, I think a lot of people are like, I would rather just donate my time. And again, if you're in LA, so many different places to do that as well. But, you know, every little bit helps. And Rain and I on our Instagram last week posted a list of organizations, which I still obviously, you know, want to tell you guys you can support all of them. And that's going to be the Los Angeles Fire Department, the Wildlife Recovery Fund, Habitat for Humanity, Pasadena Humane was on there, Baby to Baby. I want to add the Red Cross into the mix. You know, we had that list as well, and we tagged them, their Instagrams, but it is overwhelming. And, you know, to Raina's point, like, pick a person, pick a family. I mean, that's kind of where I feel like you can make the most impact at this point, is like, get that in their GoFundMe, get that in their hands. I mean, people are going to need to find places to live, and they're going to need to start from scratch and get back on their feet. And that's what I did with Maui. I was just like, I'm just going to pick some families that speak to me in their story and just like give them my money. And so again, like every little bit helps. And it's a beautiful thing to see everybody like come together. And I did a fundraiser for California Fire Foundation, like via Instagram, and just like, I watched all those roll in, and I raised, you know, like upwards of $6,000 in like 24 hours. And it was everything from $5 to $50 to $150, you know, and it just all adds up and it compounds. And so keep that in mind, and pick a GoFundMe and then send it to your group chat and be like, let's do this one, you know, whatever it really, again, you know, speaks to you. It's all helpful.
Yeah.
So we want to talk about a little bit of like the lighter side of things with all this. Like, there hasn't been much. This isn't something that when people aren't doing jokes on this, but I think like some of the things I have found is like the way we're treating these like water drop videos, like, and these pilots doing these like drops or like the fire retardant. And it's just like, people are watching this like an extreme sport, like, yes, nice drop. Like, some of them are so satisfying. Like, I'm jumping up clapping.
I love the amount of captions that say, wait for it. Oh, the satisfaction when you just watch them just like go over it. Listen, LA is a crazy place. People are fucking weird. It's full of all these celebrities. Like, of course there's going to be like crazy weird stuff that's happening here.
Yeah.
So I was like, watching the news, and they were like interviewing people in the Palisades that were like helping. And this like news crew like came up against this guy who was like, or came up to this guy who was like helping fight these fires. And it was Steve Gutenberg.
Not Steve. Steve was like boots on the ground first celebrity.
I mean, immediately first celebrity. They were just like, hey, sir, how are you? And they were like, oh, Steve Gutenberg. He looks exactly like my dad.
Well, a lot of people don't even know that. Like the Gen Zs are like, who?
He was one of the 3 dads in 3 Men and a Little Baby.
Was he in Ghostbusters too? No.
Maybe.
I don't know.
He looks like my Tessa. Do you know who Steve? Tessa's Googling. I know she doesn't know who that is. Steve Gutenberg. I mean, Tess, he's like he's like 70.
I would not know who he is.
He's an actor, you guys. I think he's just like the cutest. He looks exactly like my dad. That's my information about him. He's 66.
Well, yeah, I feel like my main important category is these pilots right now. These like heroic pilots just like flying into the fire, which again, like back to the whole, like, why did this happen? Why couldn't we do this? It's like they couldn't fly when the winds were so high. And like, that's one reason why it spread so much. And it's like, it's maddening to be like, we could have stopped the spread. It's giving COVID.
I wouldn't even taken a walk. I do not.
Yes.
When it gets going like that in Venice, not that Venice is the Palisades, but like I wouldn't go outside for a second.
So it's
crazy.
like that would have helped, but we couldn't. You know, they couldn't do it because of the wind. And so once they started, I feel like people were like, let's fucking go. Like, let's watch them do these drops. I have been, I guess, invested in this Spencer and Heidi thing. I mean, they lost their home.
So he was the first celebrity I saw posting at all. Like, because people don't like watching celebrities talk about losing things. They're like, oh, you're so red.
Oh, your third home. Yeah. Which they aren't one of those.
They aren't one of those.
They're not, you know,
like,
they're not billionaires.
And so they were the first celebrities I saw posting, crying to their Instagram story that they lost their home. Of course, they have 2 small children, but their character arc through this has been amazing to watch.
Wait, so what? Well, so what? He told people to stream her music.
Yes. So basically,
I forget
like,
she's like a singer.
Yes. So he was like, how you can help us financially is go download Heidi's song on iTunes, and she's the #1 song on iTunes.
Heidi Montag, #1 in iTunes America. Thank you, everyone. Woo!
He like reinvigorated her career overnight.
It's crazy.
And he has like these Instagram stories. He's like rolling around on the beach. He's like, I love being famous. Like he's just like, I have a platform. I'm going to use it.
Yeah. I saw this comedian named Pete Lee on Jimmy Fallon. It was the day after he lost his home in the Palisades, and he was being funny. I mean, it was his story was tragic, and he shared it, but he was able to like make jokes, and it was hysterical. I saw a ton of comedians posting that. We'll put it up on YouTube.
I really appreciate you coming here.
Thank you. Yeah, I I don't mean to be a bummer. This is a comedy show. I'm a comedian. But my house burned down yesterday. That was the most studio audience response I've ever heard.
No, that's exactly what
That was like a game show where it went to zero to bankrupt.
I did a show on Friday, and I had shows all weekend. I had a bunch of shows scheduled that all got canceled, but they still did a show. I still did a Don't Tell show in Torrance. And I was like, I don't have to do this, obviously. Like everybody would have understood. I got asked to do it from a booker because the other ones got canceled. And I was like, I'll go do it. I need a mental break. And I was like driving there, like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I am not in the headspace to tell jokes and like make people laugh. But like, I guess like, just being in that room with all those people that have like experienced the same thing. And again, Torrance was farther. These were people that were always in a safe zone, but they're still seeing their city burn. It felt like a really like collective therapeutic thing to be in a room and people are there, and like, everybody's had such a hard week, obviously, and people want to laugh. And so, I'm seeing in the comedy community, I think the Comedy Store and the Improv are both reopening, and then there's free shows, and they're just really like being sensitive about it. I know I saw Trevor Wallace do something at the Laugh Factory, but it was like a benefit. And so it's just like, as a comedian, you're like, should I go do shows? Is that insensitive? But it's like, people want the comedic relief, and if you can, I don't know. I've appreciated seeing, I guess, the LA scene response with that.
I think you're like, when am I allowed to feel some joy? When am I allowed to enjoy this? But I think that I'm not a comedian, but you are. I mean, I think that you're like spreading joy, and I think that that's what you can give to people. Like you didn't go out for like a fun night to whip it up and put it on Instagram. You were like, what I can contribute is joy to other people, and I'm going to do that. And I think that that's like a great service.
Yeah, I kind of felt like that too. It's just like, if this is what people need and I can be a part of it, Yeah. So, there's that too.
Well, we don't know what tomorrow will bring, and these will be some kind of crazy days ahead for us. So hopefully by the time this comes out, this will be a little more under control. But I don't know. Our thoughts are with everybody. We're going to do everything that we can to make sure that people are okay and we make a positive impact. And I'm glad that Azul and Tessa and you are safe, and our homes are safe, and so many people aren't. So, we'll continue to use this platform to encourage you guys to just keep your eyes on it. And we love LA and the city of LA. And we really thank everybody that has done so much to keep people safe.
Yeah. And I echo what Raina said. And, we know it can be overwhelming and how you can help. But if you just even really wanting to, and even, messaging us, how can I help, it means a lot. And to that point, like if you're somebody, you have friends in LA and you haven't reached out, I'm sure they'd love to hear from you, if they're in your thoughts, and it means a lot. But, first and foremost is just our thoughts and our hearts are with everybody who has been impacted by this, experience any sort of loss. And it's going to be a long road to recovery. And we recognize that. And, we're no plans to leave LA. So we're going to be there, boots on the ground, like seeing how we can help for the long haul. And that's on that.
I hope you guys have enjoyed this.
I don't know
really how to end this.
Really emotional roller coaster. Okay, bye. No. Well, we mentioned our Instagram earlier, so you can still check that. That's going to be girlsgottaeatpodcast.com. Girls Gotta Eat Podcast also on TikTok. I'm Ash Hess. Raina is Raina.Greenberg. We've both been posting a bunch of resources, so you can check this out. I made a highlight with everything I posted related to these. So if you missed something, you want to find a link, I do have a highlight, CA Fires. It's like my first one on my Instagram, Ash Hess. And we will, keep on keeping on.
Yeah. Have a good weekend, guys. Be safe. Bye.
Bye.